What's good, everybody? It's your brother Mad Black, the most dangerous and the most toxic black man on the internet, and I am black up in your face again with some more pro-black commentary. So I'm warning you outright that I'm going to be doing a lot of videos this week that focus on white females, and a lot of those videos will probably take a negative tone to them. So if you're one of those black males who is obsessed with white females, you might not want to tune in for the next couple of days. And if while I'm doing those videos, if you decide to leave a comment that says, when are you going to do a video about black women or whatever, if you decide to do that, I'm just going to block you and you won't be allowed on this channel anymore. Because in the time that I even do this one video, there have been at least 20 or 30 Negroes who have done a negative video about black women. And this includes both black men and black women doing negative videos about black women. Then there's probably a few white people who've also done negative videos about black women. You don't need me to do that, okay? Now, if you can't take me talking about your Beckys and your Karens, then you don't need to be on this channel, all right? So, that being said, let me move forward. So, the NFL draft just went by not too long ago. And, there a lot of images have come up from the NFL draft. And it's always interesting to me the imagery that comes up with the NFL draft. It always reminds me very much of something you would see during slavery. But, the more popular image that has showcased itself these days for the NFL draft is the black male who is getting drafted into the NFL and his white girlfriend, right? So those types of images have been going around for a lot of the NFL draftees very recently. And that's pretty deliberate, because white society and the media likes to focus on that. And basically, those are the Negroes who have been tested and who have been vetted, and they're the ones who are going to be let into the NFL. And I'll explain more of that as we go on. So, as far as those images go, is the reaction that I've seen from a lot of black people on social media that has kind of pissed me off and got me to even do this video in and of itself. And, there are some black women out there who I guess have a problem with that video or with those images, saying, why are all these black men, why are they with white women or whatever. To be totally honest, I don't really pay them too much attention, because a lot of them just complain just to be complaining. Some of them have a valid reasoning, and only a few of them have even tried to give any type of real social commentary on it, right? That's why I don't really focus on that as much, because I know that if this was a video of a bunch of white boys with black girlfriends, they'd be praising it and clapping their hands and saying yes and everything else, praising these white men for being with black women, right? So I know their hypocrisy exists. So you don't have to come to me and talk about that. However, I do not think that it is right for black males to basically be trying to live vicariously through these NFL draftees, because I've seen a lot of black males either praising these NFL draftees and praising them for having white women, or trying to perpetuate the narrative that somehow these black men are with women who have loved them from the start, and they're just reaping the rewards of this black man's success. That's utter nonsense and complete bullshit. Okay, and we all know this, but I guess this is an immature way for black males to kind of play tit for tat when it comes to the whole divestment argument and this whole extremely childish gender war that exists on social media, right? Because, when a black woman gets with a white man, all she wants to talk about is how successful and how great this white man is. Doesn't matter what type of lower life form he is or what type of dirtbag he is. She's always going to praise him and put him on a pedestal, right? Likewise, you have a lot of black males who do the same thing with white women. Doesn't matter if she's basic bargain bin Becky. Doesn't matter if she looks, she's large as a whale. Doesn't matter if, she's all nasty and flabby and looks like a box of chewed up bubble gum. They always put this white woman on a pedestal, right? So, I noticed that whole back and forth that goes on online between black males and black females. And once again, it's extremely childish. And it makes us look like a bunch of moronic slaves. And when you have a black male praising white women or praising a black man getting with a white woman, it's bad optics, and it sets a bad example for the youth out there. All right? Because the truth of the matter is, when you see those images of these NFL draftees with these white women, what you're actually seeing is program behavior. Okay, so I did a response on my Facebook to black males who were saying that, when these NFL, these black men were getting with these white women, that they were saying that black men were finally waking up. Black men were finally changing things and doing something different. The truth of the matter is, when you see these black men with these white women, they're not waking up. They're proving that they're still asleep. And this is nothing new. Okay? Stop acting as if this is something new, because, black female divestors do this all the time. Anytime they see a black woman with a white man, they make it seem like this is a new day. It's a new age, and everything is changing for the better for black women because they're getting with white men. Now I see a lot of black men repeating the same type of language, but, they switch the genders. So now they make it seem as if black men are doing something different because they're getting with white women. Now, we all know that there's nothing new about a black man getting with white women. Okay, it happened during slavery, it happened post-slavery, and it's definitely been going on, especially within the realm of black male celebrities for the longest time. Even during the early 1900s, where, they were literally lynching black men, people like Jack Johnson was out there hanging out and, marrying and cavorting and having sex with white prostitutes. Now, I'm not trying to be derogatory towards those white women. They actually were prostitutes, because that's the types of people he liked to hang around, right? He liked to hang around with white hoes, right? So literally, this black man who every time he won a boxing match would cause white males to go out there and lynch other black men, he's out there hanging out with white females and saying a lot of the dumb nonsense that Negroes say nowadays. As he would always say, like, things have changed. We don't live in slavery anymore. I'm not a sharecropper. Race relations have changed. He was saying it all the way back then, early 1900s. This is why I pay a lot of you dumb Negroes who say things have changed no mind whatsoever. Okay, because things have not changed at all. So, Jack Johnson was doing that stuff back then. A lot of the famous black celebrities all through that time, going all the way up till now, have been with, either married to or messed with or had children with white women. Nothing new. Same thing with the black athletes. We just had the King Coon himself, O.J. Simpson, passed away. He was known for messing around with white women, right? Even all the way up until his death. Didn't matter that, they all turned their backs on him. Didn't matter where they said he was like the most dangerous black man of all time. Still had him a gang of white women around him. He probably had white women around his deathbed, probably. So, he might have even been buried with some white women, like an Egyptian pharaoh. He took his white women with him to the afterlife. Who knows, right? But yeah, these people, you'll have some very ignorant black males get online and say nonsense as if things are changing because these NFL draftees got them some Beckys. Nothing's changed at all. And as a matter of fact, the truth of the matter is when a lot of these black males leave high school. Well, let me start from the beginning. a lot of these black males start getting the attention of these universities while they're in high school. Okay, they start eyeballing these black men, and when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about this from what I know, not from just some shit I'm making up. Okay, because I have family members. I'm not going to mention their names, but I have family members who play professional and college level football. Okay, so I'm telling you what I know. I'm not telling you something that I'm just making up out of the blue. All right, and plus this stuff is known within that circle, and is been known throughout the mainstream media as well. So when these young black men are playing in high school and they get the attention of these universities, what these universities look for are black males. They look for the good physical prowess, but they also look for a certain mindset. So they look for a black male who doesn't have good grades, and they also look for a black male who it helps if the black male doesn't have a father, if he's just raised by a single black mother. They prefer that. They prefer if he doesn't have his father involved in his life, because that way the white coach can be his daddy, right? And that's what they prefer. And when they start bringing these young black men to these college campuses, what they do is they'll get someone to give them a tour of the campus, and usually that's a white female, okay? And they know that a lot of these black men, they might come from a black neighborhood or a black school. They've been mostly around nothing but black women. They've only seen white women on TV or music videos or whatever, right? And they've been taught by the society at large that white women are the cleanest, best thing in the world. So, you know, their mind is already geared towards putting white women on a pedestal. And it even helps in the fact that if the black man is raised religiously by his black mother to worship white Jesus, he already has white people on a pedestal in his mind. So they set him up with this white girl to give him a tour of the school. And if if they're really desperate to get him to go to the school and to sign on, she might give him a tour of her drawers as well, or whatever, or no drawers. She might not have no drawers on at all. They prostitute these white females to these black boys to get them to sign on to these universities. This is well known. Not just football, but basketball as well. Some of these other sports, they do the same thing, right? So, they'll get these black boys to sign on to their college, and all through college, they'll just keep throwing more and more white women at these boys. Even like some of the alumni will set up dates for these young men to be with a white female. Like I said, that they prefer. That's why they prefer that you be raised by a single black mother and not have a father around you who's taught you to be wary of these females out here. They want to kind of gear your mind and teach you and mold you as to what type of black man that they want you to be. They make sure that you're not ever involved in any type of revolutionary activity on the college campus. You'll never be involved with other black people or black student unions or whatever. And if they do, it's controlled, right? So by the time this boy is graduating and he's being looked at by the NFL, they've already groomed him to be a good little Negro for the NFL, tailor-made for the NFL. That's why you see so many of these black males with their white females during the draft meeting. Okay, these are the white female prostitutes on campus who have outlasted the other ones and have locked down this black boy, so she can get her paycheck in the end when she has some kids by him or has a family with him or marries him. So if he ever does get divorced or cheats on her or whatever, he breaks her off some of that income later on. But also, that white woman is there as a check to make sure that this black man is never truly involved or never really helps his people. That's why a lot of these Negroes, when you see them in both the NFL or the NBA, a lot of them are not too bright. A lot of them are not too politically minded, A lot of them don't even know what the hell is going on politically unless it's their alumni paymasters or their coaches or whoever is the head or their sports agents or even their wives. They're the ones feeding these Negroes as to what their politics should be, right? This is why you hear a lot of these athletes make a lot of ignorant comments about, there's a riot with black people or a black person is murdered by the police. That's why they say a lot of that dumb shit, is because they've already been geared towards that. They've been groomed towards that. They've left their family and everyone else behind. Yeah, they might buy their mama a new house or whatever, but, you know, their lifestyle and their mindset and their mentality as far as what they think about the black community has completely been warped and changed into what white society wants. This is why the strongest amongst us, all these, these big brute buck Negroes, they're all very strong, very fast, but they're all very dull-witted. They don't think. They have no mind for politics, and their money is being controlled by white folks, whether it be his white wife or just his white agent or whoever. And that's why a lot of these Negroes go broke and you never hear of them ever again. But the ones that do stay are completely controlled by this society. They will never fight for black people, ever. Okay? Their whole world is white now. They're part of white society. That's why I said to people like OJ, that's their Negro. And they can decide what to do. Excuse me. They can decide what to do with him, whether they want to keep him around or kick him to the curb when they feel like it. So when I see black men out here, fawning and once again living vicariously through these NFL draftees with these white females, it sickens me, it disturbs me, and it disappoints me, because a black male, as powerful as we are, we need to be thinking better than this. We need to think higher than this. Stop thinking with your penis and stop thinking that you're accomplishing something great because you're with a white female. That means nothing in this society. And all the Negroes who have had their lives destroyed who have a white female should have taught you that. But based on what I've seen from the comments and the postings and, the cheering, the dick cheerleading from a lot of these Negroes about these NFL draftees, I've seen that a lot of you have learned absolutely nothing at all from the legacy of what's going on in this country and the relationship between blacks and whites, especially when it comes to black men and white women. So you folks let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. I'd very much like to hear your opinions on this subject. Anyway, this is Mad Black, and I will be back with my foot on the devil's back.